guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be covering solar study in Revit. So essentially we're going to use InfraWorks to like extract the existing ground surface, and then we're going to bring it into Civil 3D just to establish our project base point, and then we're going to use that as a shared reference point into Revit so that we can perform a solar study in real world context. So essentially, we're going to follow the same methodology that we did on previous tutorials in terms of extracting the existing surface and establishing our base point. Before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to please subscribe, like, and share because I upload BIM modeling tutorials 3 times every week, as you can see on my playlist. So the first thing is we're going to use InfraWorks Model Builder, and I'm just gonna type in Sentin. So Sentin South Africa, and then it's gonna zoom into Sentin. I'm gonna change the the base map so that I can see things more clearly. And then I'm just gonna zoom in into this place. So as you can see, we have Alexandra, and just gonna zoom in onto the northwest of it. And as you can see, we have this Catherine Street. So this is where we're gonna establish our site. So I'm gonna choose polygon in this instance, place my polygon like that. And this side is not gonna be that big, so I'm just gonna place it like this. And then the last point, I'm gonna double click so that it establishes the entire perimeter. Okay, so the next thing is you're gonna have to choose your coordinate system. So I'm gonna type in LO29, and then I'm gonna double click on that one, and then I'm gonna name this site. So it's gonna be, I'm just gonna name it building site, and then I'm gonna say create model. So after this, obviously you're gonna have to wait for an email that's gonna pop up, which indicates that your InfraWorks model is ready, and then after that you can open up your model, save it, and then convert your surface to an IMX, and then load it into Civil 3D. Okay, so I got the notification and the building site has been generated. So I'm just gonna open up the model, and you have options to save it under Autodesk Docs if you are working in a collaborative environment, or you're gonna save it local. So in this instance, I'm just gonna save it, open it, and save it locally. Okay, so the surface is generated. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to present or share, drop this down and say export IMX. Make sure the coordinate system, the target coordinate system is the same one that you have chosen initially. So you can just choose where you want to save this IMX. And I'm just gonna export it. And after that, I'm gonna go to Civil 3D. So on Civil 3D, you can open up a new template, go to InfraWorks tab, and then you're gonna say open up model. You're gonna choose where you saved your IMX and open it up and say set coordinate system, and then you can use the first option, use the InfraWorks model coordinate system. And then refine selection sets makes you filter out the things that you want to be incorporated into your Civil 3D model or not. So in this instance, I'm happy with the existing ground only, and then I'm gonna say okay and say open model. So this is our surface. And okay, to establish my base point, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to annotate, add labels, surface, and then select spot elevation. I'm gonna place my spot elevation right there, and I'm gonna use this as my base point. So I'm gonna, under my tool space, I'm gonna go to toolbox. Like I showed you in the previous tutorial, we have shared reference point. export shared reference point. You're gonna click on it, right click and say execute, and then you're gonna select this point, and then it's gonna give you the X, Y, and Z values, and then you're gonna say OK. So after this, it's gonna give you an option of saving an XML file. So you're gonna save that XML file and then go to Revit. So in Revit, you're just gonna open up a new template and go to the site plan so that you can see your internal origin, your base points, and all those things. And then you're gonna go to add-ins. Under add-ins, you have the shared reference point, import shared coordinates from XML file. You're gonna select it, and then you're gonna select that, and then it's gonna give you an option to load in then that XML file that you have saved, and then you're gonna say yes and say okay. Then you're gonna go to manage. Under project location, you're gonna open up the location. So you're gonna type in Sentin. So this is where we establish our site. So you're gonna type in Sentin, search, double click there, and then under site tab, you're gonna select the XML file, the my shared reference point file that you have incorporated. You're gonna say make current, and then the default one, you're gonna remove it and say okay. And as you can see, your base point is gonna change. So when you go to the site elevation, the south elevation, you're gonna select your levels, edit type, and then you're gonna change this to survey point, apply, and then okay. And then it's gonna change like that. So I'm gonna type in UN for units. I'm gonna change the units to meters and 3 decimal places and say okay. So our building is gonna be 4 meters high, so I think that's fine. And then what I'm gonna do is back at site, I'm gonna just place some random walls. So I'm gonna place a rectangle. Let me just expand this. So I'm gonna make this 30 meters, or let's say 25 by, let me just expand this one, by 15 meters. And then if I go to the 3D view, I'm going to select my levels, maximize 3D extend, do the same thing for this one. Select my wall and then change the top constraint to level 1. And then go to level 1. So on level 1, I'm going to go to structure and say floors. And then I'm just going to place a floor right on the inside. So I'm going to offset it by minus, let's say 1 meter. No, by minus 0.5. Say okay. Right. So basically, we're gonna have some parapets so we prevent people from falling off. But yeah, and then after this, what I managed to do is I managed to download some solar panel families from beamobjects.com. So we're gonna use that to place them. So I'm just gonna load family, and then open. Okay, so after that, I'm gonna go to component, and then I'm just gonna place the solar panel family, and I'm just gonna offset it from the parapets by, let's say, 0.5, and I'm just gonna array them. But before I array them, okay, let's see. Let's check the offset from this side. So the same thing, it's gonna be 0.5. And then I'm just gonna place a random line on this side, offset it by 0.5. Select my solar module and then press AR for array. And then I'm gonna array towards the side. And then I'm just gonna increase the number of our panels to 5, maybe to 10. Yeah, I think 10 is fine. Okay, so in this instance, I'm gonna do the same thing this side. I'm gonna offset it this side by zero point 0.5. Select all of these panels, solar modules, array, and then I'm gonna array them towards the south direction. And then I'm just gonna change this to 10. I think 10 is too much, so let's change it to, let's say, 6. Yeah, so I think 6 is fine. Okay, so after that, I'm gonna select all of these groups, and then I'm just gonna ungroup them. Uh, so let me just say filter, model groups, and then I'm just gonna ungroup them again, and then I'm just gonna select all of these panels and say edit work plane. So it's gonna be level 1. I think it's fine. So if I go to the south elevation, I'm just gonna move them manually. If I change this to wireframe, and I'm just gonna move them to place them perfectly on top of our flows. So let me just unconstrain them. So that's not gonna work. I think it's fine. So I'm just gonna drop level 1 by zero point 0.5. No, it's not gonna work. Okay, let's do this. So I'm gonna place another floor. So this floor, I'm just gonna place it on top of our slab. So this is gonna be our foundation. And then this is gonna be our roof slab. And then this is gonna be our parapet. Okay, so if I select all of these, filter, check none, and then generic models, I'm gonna change I'm gonna say edit work plane, and then I'm gonna change it to roof slab and say okay. So they're gonna drop down like this. Perfect. Okay, so after this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to when I go down, you see we have the sun path. So I'm gonna say sun path on. So I'm gonna say use the specified project location, date, and time, and say okay. And then after this, I'm gonna go to sun settings. So it's in Sandton, South Africa, so that's okay. And the next thing is I'm just gonna change the date. So I'm gonna change this to 2025, and then June 15, and I'm gonna say apply and then okay. Okay, so after this, I'm gonna go to solar study, close, and then under solar study, I'm gonna go with sun settings. And actually, no, I'm gonna go with presets. I'm gonna set it to no. Let's see. Still let me. Yeah, I'm gonna set this one to single day study. And if I go back to sun settings, it's gonna give you another option. So I'm gonna set this to sunrise to sunset, and time interval, let me set this to 30 minutes. I think that's okay. Apply and then okay. All right. So after this, the speed, I think it's fine at 1. The sun intensity at 30. I'm just going to reduce the shadow to, let's say, 35. I think it's fine. And then after that, it's in a real world coordinates, which means you know that this is very much valuable and accurate. So I'm going to say play review. And this is how it's going to move. Okay, so yeah, this is how it looks. So if I just rotate it like that and play it, so this is how it moves. The valuable thing about this, if I go to, let's say, my roof slab, and if I say sun path on, use the specified ones, this is very much valuable because based on my experience, what I did was I managed to perform a solar study when I was working under contractors because my director was planning on placing solar panels at the roofs. So I managed to use this example. I managed to do something like this and performed solar studies for visualization, but also I did like PDF drawings which showed how the shadows move at a specific time interval during winter and also summer and also autumn. So in this instance, you can just say solar study again, and I'm gonna set this to single day, and then I'm gonna say play. No, let's go to settings again, sunrise to sunset, 30 minutes, or let's say 45, apply, okay. And then you can just play it. And this is how it will move. Okay, so let's set this to 15 minutes. Let's see what happens. So what I managed to do is I used to play it and then post it and then um, did like a layout plan, PDF'd it, and then they saw how the shadows and the sun moves at a certain during in the morning or during the afternoon or during peak hours. So it was very much valuable information, and I managed to collaborate with architects and structural engineers which they took things further. Obviously, they generated the building model, and the structural engineers did like the structural framings and columns for the mounts for the solar panels. So essentially, I only generated a level of detail 100 to 200 model, and then I managed to collaborate with architects and engineers. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope this was very much valuable and educative. And yeah, I'll see you on the next tutorial. There's more coming, and thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing. And I'll see you. Peace.